Right now, you're doing something no other animal on Earth can do. You push air out of your lungs, it turns into sound, and that sound plants the exact same thought inside someone else's head. Think about that. An invisible idea leaves your skull and shows up in another one. No wires, no touch. But it wasn't always like this. Picture a fire hundreds of thousands of years ago. Around it sit early humans. They already look like us. They've got hands, fire, and stone tools. But not one of them can say a single word. And yet, somehow, they still understand each other. So, how does a creature that stayed silent for millions of years finally learn to talk? This question actually has a name: the origin of language. And for a long time, scientists thought it was hopeless. So hopeless that in 1866, the Linguistics Society of Paris, the leading language scholars of the day, officially banned papers on where language came from. The reason is simple. Language leaves no bones, no fossils. A word vanishes the second you say it. So researchers took a different route. They broke the road to speech into steps. Let's climb them, one at a time. Step 1. Touch. Long before words, early humans communicated through contact. Look at monkeys today. They spend hours grooming each other's fur. It's not about staying clean. It's how they say, "I'm one of you. You can trust me." Our earliest relatives almost certainly started the same way. Touch was the first message, not a single sound. But it's got a ceiling. You can only touch one person, and only when they're right next to you. Step 2. Gesture. Next, the hands took over. A lot of scientists think the first real language wasn't spoken at all. It was gestured. And the most important gesture was the simplest one: pointing. Point at the prey. Wave someone over. Mime the animal you're about to hunt. You can still see dozens of these gestures in wild apes today. But here's what they almost never do. They don't point just to share something. You do. You point and say, "Look, over there." That's not a request. It's a shared thought between two minds. Gesture has one flaw, though. In the dark, nobody can see it, and your hands are often full, carrying food or a kid. You needed a signal that works anywhere, in the dark, with your hands full. And that signal was sound. Step 3. The call. The voice steps in. At first, not words, just simple cries tied to one single thing. You can watch this in monkeys right now. Vervet monkeys in Africa have 3 different alarm calls. One for a leopard, and the whole group scrambles higher into the trees. One for an eagle, and they all look up. One for a snake. And they scan the grass around their feet. It looks like the first words. But that's exactly where it stops. You can't join one call to another to make a sentence. A call can only tell you about right here, right now. Danger's close, so it screams. But it can never tell you about yesterday's leopard down by the river. Step 4. The symbol. And here, for the first time, it isn't the body doing the work, it's the mind. In Blombos Cave in southern Africa, researchers found a piece of ochre, a soft red stone you can draw with. It's around 70,000 years old, and scratched into it is a pattern, a crosshatch of lines. You can't cut anything with that pattern. You can't catch food with it. For survival, it's completely useless. And yet, someone made it on purpose, carefully, deliberately. It's the first trace of an enormous idea, that one thing can stand for another. A scratch isn't a leopard, and it isn't food. It's just a symbol, with a meaning behind it. Later, that exact same power turns into cave paintings. A deer on the wall is a story about the hunt. Fire is about warmth and the hearth. A giant mammoth is a warning about danger. Once the mind could make symbols with the hand, it was ready to make them with the voice. Because a word is the exact same thing, a sound that stands for something. Step 5. Control of the voice. And humans paid a steep price for it. Your larynx, your voice box, sits low in your throat, much lower than in any ape. That low position opens up a space above your vocal cords, like the inside of a wind instrument, a flute or a horn. By reshaping that space with your tongue and lips, you sculpt different vowels: ah, e, O, oo. But the cost is brutal. That same low voice box lets a piece of food slip down the wrong pipe. Humans are one of the only animals that can choke to death on their own dinner. Evolution handed us the risk of choking just so we could talk. There's also a gene that fine-tunes all of this. It's called FOXP2. When that gene is damaged, a person is smart and hears perfectly fine, but the mouth just won't obey when it's time to shape sounds into a word. Birds carry a version of it too. It controls how a bird learns its song. And here's the strange part. That same speech gene, FOXP2, wasn't only found in us. It was in Neanderthals too, the exact same version. But we need to clear one thing up so there's no confusion. Neanderthals are not your ancestors. They're a different kind of human. They lived in Europe and they went extinct long ago. Modern humans, Homo sapiens, came up separately, over in Africa, and spread out from there. So how did two different species end up with the very same speech gene? Because a long time ago, we shared a common ancestor, most likely a species called Homo heidelbergensis, or Heidelberg man. He lived hundreds of thousands of years ago. Then his descendants split. One branch went to Europe and became Neanderthals. The other stayed in Africa and became us. If both branches inherited the same gene, then the groundwork for speech was already sitting in that shared ancestor, long before our paths ever split. Step 6, and this is the big one, putting words together. This is what finally set humans apart from everything else. Not the sounds themselves, but the power to combine them. From a handful of words, you can build endless sentences nobody has ever said before. A call can only point at what's in front of you, but put words together and you can talk about yesterday, about tomorrow, about things that aren't even here. That ability to combine is the real border between language and a simple cry. So when did early humans actually start talking? There's no exact date because language just doesn't survive. Simple sounds might go back around 2 million years, but full speech with real grammar probably came together somewhere between 170,000 years ago. That's right when those first symbols on stone show up, along with jewelry and complex tools. It looks like drawing, craft, and speech all arrived on the same wave, a wave of a mind that had just learned to make symbols. And now, the real twist. We tend to think someone invented language, that one clever human sat down and came up with words. But you can't invent a language alone. A word only works if a second person understands it, and it turns out adults don't invent language, children finish building it. And this isn't a theory. Scientists watched it happen, with their own eyes, very recently. Nicaragua, the 1980s. For the first time, the country opened schools for deaf children and brought them together from all over. Until then, these kids had grown up another, with nobody to teach them a shared sign language. They were finally together, but they had no common language at all. At first fetching, they swapped simple, homemade signs, each kid in their own way. And then, something close to a miracle happened. The youngest children took that messy pile of signs and, with no teachers whatsoever, built a grammar into it. Each new wave of kids made the language richer and more complex. In just a few years, a real, full language was born out of nothing. Nobody invented it. The children grew it. Simply because their brains don't know how to do anything else. And here's what all of this means for you. You climbed every single one of these steps yourself in your first few years of life. As a baby, you reached and clung first. That was your step of touch. Around your first birthday, you started pointing, your step of gesture. Not to ask for something, but to share. Look, a bird. Then you scribbled your first marks on paper, your own first symbols. Then came your first sounds, and after them, your first words. And by 3 or 4, you were building sentences on your own. Not copying adults, but making sentences nobody ever taught you. A journey that took millions of years. Your brain repeated in just a couple of them. Any animal can scream about a danger right in front of it. A deer can warn the herd, a bird can sound the alarm, but only you can tell someone about what isn't here, about someone long dead, about a place you've never been, about tomorrow. The road from touch to word took millions of years, and you walk it again in a single second, every time you open your mouth.